Without any further ado, could we please welcome up Captain Solomon Gizaw.
Thank you.
I'd love to start by just going back to the beginning for you. Could you tell us a little bit about who you are, where you grew up, and almost how you got here today?
Okay. First of all, I really would like to apologize. I budgeted 45 minutes, but it took me an hour to get here. So that's why I'm late, but normally I don't like to be late. Who am I? I grew up in Lubabor, and most of you might know Jimma. It's southwest of Ethiopia, and I'm even farther west in the remote areas. Actually, so remote that even today you have to walk for about 4 or 5 hours to get to my birthplace from the closest gravel road. I left my parents in my small village when I was fifth grade, and because in my village we had school only up to 4th grade. And then I moved around, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 schools before I finished my high school during the Dirk. And after that, the struggle was to stay alive. At that time, I don't know, most of you might have heard life story or like a fantasy or life dreams. It's good enough for you to be young. Most of you are qualified to be killed just because you are young during the Dirk. So my biggest mission was to stay alive. I think I managed to do that. I worked in a garage. I worked as a taxi driver. I worked as a servant to some missionaries. I worked as a small truck driver until I managed to get secure scholarships through the missionaries I knew before. And actually, it took me almost 3 years to leave Ethiopia after I got my visa. So then I went across to America. I was old, 22, 23 years old. I had to start everything all over. And I don't know how many of you know about Michigan, and especially a town called Holland. It's actually more, just as DC is for Addis Ababa, like the people, Ethiopians in DC, are more Ethiopians, seriously. And for me, Holland was like that. It was a small Dutch city, and maybe I was one of the 20, 30 black students in the whole college, with about 2,500 students. And after the first year, or after the second year, I decided to teach myself. I said I have to pay my way because the missionaries have done more than their share to help me out. Don't ask me why I said that. And I think that was a good decision. I worked very hard. Started with dishwashing, washing college cars, and then I was raised to the level of serving food in the cafeteria, and then I started cutting grass for the college, painting the college during the break times, like a summer break. Eventually, I started driving the vans, and then eventually the buses, and and then I became a security guard. No, I was just like, actually, I was a Zabanya for, seriously, for a factory. And after 2 years, I secured a job as a machinery in the same factory. And that's the money I used for my flight school. And yeah, I've done everything, almost everything except crime. So, no, seriously. And yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
It's amazing. I think you sweep over the things that you got your hands dirty from the very beginning. Hard work is something that clearly is been a part of your life and a character trait that has led you to where you are now. Tell us a little bit about the journey from coming back and how you began setting up and growing your business from what it is. And tell us a bit about your business too.
Okay, then when I finished my college and my pilot training school, I joined the very mission aviation company I used to work for here as everything. As a loader, I used to, you don't have any choice but to believe me. I used to build airstrips by myself, just a single person. I go with a small tractor, plow the higher piece of land and take it to the lower and level it out for the small mission airplanes, and I became a pilot for that very company. And then I was in Haiti, and then in East Africa, and I came back to Ethiopia after 15 years. And after I came here with the same mission organization, I was very happy. I'm home. But like just right after I met, he was about 5 years old. Then that mission was asked to leave Ethiopia because of another politics. So they had to leave. And I decided to stay here. Okay, that's where my story really starts. The problem was I had a huge dream. I had some kind of subliminal thought about starting an aviation company in Ethiopia, but I just didn't have money. We used to get paid, decent for an Ethiopian standard. As a missionary pilot, I used to make more than enough, but I always thought money was to use, so I never really saved any money. You have the choice not to believe me, but I had about 3,000 birr in my account when this dream was initiated. And I talked to the Keith, my boss, he's your friend, and he was my boss, and I told him I wanted to start this company, and everybody was sarcastic, Yeah, right, you're in your country, you can start an airline, no big deal. And because everybody knew I could never secure the license. And the good thing is I didn't know I could not secure. But I tried. It took me about 3 months, and I secured it. And then everybody was confused, including myself. And then they said, if you secure a license, we will loan you an airplane. And they knew very well that I'll never secure, so they don't have to loan me an airplane. Seriously, And that process took almost a year, about 8 months. And they loaned me an airplane on a 7-year lease purchase term, like almost $1 million, $995,000 to be exact. And hey, I said, I'll try. If it doesn't work, they take the airplane, no harm done. And because everybody thought very likely, it's really more likely than not, that I'll not succeed. So I had to prove to myself and to the whole world that I could do it. And the loan was for 7 years, and I paid it back in 4.5 years. I purchased my second airplane, and 18 years down, now almost 19 years. We have 16 airplanes and 1 helicopter now. And out of that, we even had 5 more airplanes that crashed in the flight to school. So totally we purchased about 22. So the potential, okay, I have to say this.
Yeah.
For where I started, or for how far I've come, this is just like almost unbelievable achievement. But for what I could have done, or I could do even today, this is just a joke. This is a beautiful country. I love my country maybe as much as most of you, or more than anybody in this room. But this country is very, very, very difficult. We love to say we're number 1 in Africa, number 1 here, number 2 to get the Dreamliner, number 3 this. We like to talk in numbers, but we are number 1 in aborting dreams. And it's very, very hard, but guess what? If it was that simple, there would have been about 1,000 air companies, or restaurants, or hotels. So really, much more than the circumstances, or the people, or the policies, the person that will really kill your dream is just you. They might make you sick, you might limp for a while, but they cannot kill it. Nobody could kill it. And as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that drives me, the biggest thing, I'm not afraid of failure. For me, the fact that I come from the village, I know, like, look, to be honest, most of you probably came back from the clinic or from the hospital with a car. I was 11 years old when I saw my first car. I was 14 when I saw my first telephone. So for somebody to come from there, if in my village, if I open, not open, but if I bought a ladder, owned a ladder, and became a taxi driver in Addis, I would have been the pride of my village. You know what I'm saying? But where I am now is just like, yeah, I'm talking to you guys as if I'm really that important, you know, seriously. Because I don't see the limits, I'm very happy where I am now. And if I were to quit work today, you'll never see me crying. I'll be on my motorbike going somewhere. I have about 500 different ideas, you know. And I don't work to make a living. I work just because of the passion, because I love it. So I don't know, I'm going all over, but like, you know.
Wow.